welcome back. So in this video, we are now going to create some type of useful workflow, something that may be interesting. And what I thought of for this is maybe we could set up a schedule to give us an updated price of Bitcoin and have it run every minute or something like that. So what we can do for this is we can click on add our first step, and then let's click on a schedule. So we want a scheduled trigger. I'm going to set the interval to every minute and then 1 minute between the triggers. I'm going to click on back to canvas, and there we go. So now every minute this workflow will run. But how in the world can we get the latest Bitcoin price? What can we do? How can we possibly grab that data? Well, there's something called an HTTP GET request that will allow us to grab data from a website that contains the information we're looking for. So if you're not from a development background, this may be a little confusing, and that's perfectly fine. All you have to do is come over here to this URL I have, and I'll have it in the resources section below. So all you have to do is copy this URL from our resources section or resources for this lesson. But if you go ahead and paste this into a new browser window, it will show you an updated price of Bitcoin in US dollars. So right now, Bitcoin is $114,416. And that is the price I'm getting right here. So this JSON output right here, which we have been using with our workflows, is just called JavaScript Object Notation. It is an easy way to grab these key value pairs from a website by using these HTTP requests. So again, if you're not from that development background, that's completely fine. All you have to do is click this plus icon here, and you're going to type in HTTP, and then click on this HTTP request action. Now in here, we have a few different options for method. So a method is just what you're doing with whatever the data is. Maybe you want to delete data or post data, but in this case, we are just going to get data. So that means we want to receive data. Now, if we paste in the URL down here, we now have the option to click execute step to grab the data or the Bitcoin price from this site, or from this API. Let's head back and let's click execute step. And just like that, we can see we have an updated price of Bitcoin at $114,372. Now, if you're working with APIs, usually you'll require an authentication. And I know if I do too many, requests, I know I will exceed the rate because a lot of these sites don't allow you to do endless requests against their API. So usually you have to create an account. But again, this is just a free site we can use. But be careful executing this step because eventually, maybe after 10 times or so, it'll say that you have exceeded the amount of times you're allowed to do that. Just be mindful of that. Let's click on back to canvas and let's just do a quick recap of what we have built so far. So our trigger, if we double click this, it is running every minute. It is a scheduled trigger. So every minute our workflow will run. So let's click on back to canvas. After that, we added an HTTP request. So we double click that. And this HTTP request is grabbing data from this URL. So when you paste this URL into a new tab, you can see you get the output with the Bitcoin price. So that's all that's happening. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing crazy complicated. All that we're doing here is going to this website and grabbing the data displayed on that page. That's it. We're not doing anything too crazy here. We're just grabbing the live price of Bitcoin. So let's go back to canvas and let's think of what else we can do. Now, first off, I'm thinking maybe we could format this output. We could format this data. So if we double click this, we can see that, well, there's no dollar sign on this. It's just a numerical value. There's no dollar sign here. It's not formatted as a currency. It's just formatted as a whole number. But if we want to send this over to our Slack channel, we want it to be formatted in a at least decent way. So let's click on add a new action. And then once clicking that, you're going to type in the search node and type in set. And this is where we can change the data type of whatever fields we're working with. So I'm going to click on the set action here, and I'm going to drag over our USD request onto the fields to set. And now we need to change this from a number to a string, and we're going to highlight this and stay with me here. We're going to enter some custom code in. So just pasting this. And again, you can find this in the resources, and this will automatically format our result to look like and to be a currency. All right, perfect. So this preview here, we can see that our former just pure whole number is now showing as a currency. You don't really need to know code like this. I just went to ChatGPT and asked for it to give me the exact code to style this. So I'm no better. I didn't manually type this out. I just said, ChatGPT, can you give me the correct code to reformat something into a currency? And this is exactly what it gave me. So there we go. Now, if this isn't a USD, you would have to specify the currency, but being it is USD, we are good to go. All right, perfect. So let's go back to Canvas. We now have our schedule. So running every minute, we're grabbing the Bitcoin price, and then we're changing the Bitcoin whole number value into a currency. So now we have these 3 nodes here. What can we do to finish this off? And I think let's end it while we're here. I think let's just end it semi-simple and just do a Slack message, or you could post it into Discord if you wanted. And we're going to type in send. We're going to say send a message. I already have my Slack account linked. All I have to do is select the channel to send this message to. So I'm going to say, let's just send it over to, I'll just say the social channel. That's fine. And our message text, well, we have to execute the previous node to show that data. Oh, and it looks like I have some issues. Let's go back to Canvas and click on this and see what the issue is. All right, let's go all the way back. It looks like this is not running. Let's execute. There we go. So now we have our value here. Let's drag this over. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier in the last video. It's where we have these different input and output fields from our from our previous actions. So you can see there's this USD value here, this USD value here, and all these other fields here. Now, something that you might recognize is when I type json.usd, how does it know to grab this one versus this one? I mean, I know I dragged and dropped this over, but if you notice, they're the same exact name. So if I drop this USD over here, see how it is a completely different naming convention. Whereas before it was just json.usd and it gave me this value here. But now you can see it is actually the name of this action node. So it's http request item.json.usd, and that gives me the whole number here. Now, why in the world am I able to do this? Why am I able to do json.usd and get this currency here? Why don't I have to specify the name of the action field, being it's called edit fields? And that is because being this is our most recent or most previous run node, whatever we pull from here is going to be, the context aware data. It's the most recent context aware data. So all we have to do is drag and drop, just say JSON dot whatever field name it is in here, and it'll automatically grab it, means that is the latest version or latest iteration of that field. So that is why that works. We could also type in these double curly brackets, and I could manually specify edit fields, and I'm going to hit tab here. I'm going to do dot, I'm going to do dot item, dot again, JSON, dot one more time, USD, and there we go. I get the same exact value, and it's a little more clear on where this value is coming from. So I think this is the better way to do it. And now if I execute this step, this will send the price of Bitcoin over to my social Slack channel. So let me click execute. All right, now let's head over to Slack. I guess I should have opened this before, but oh well. All right, let's head to the social channel, and there we go. We can now see this currency here, but there's not any context. Let me update that. Let's update the message text, and let's say the current price of Bitcoin is, and then we'll just post it in there. All right, perfect. Let's click execute one more time. And I do have to be mindful, eventually I should be getting an error message saying that I've exceeded my query limit, because usually most sites don't allow you to do endless HTTP requests to their API. So we'll see how long this lets me run it. So let's click on save here, and let's make this workflow active. So once I make this active, it's going to run every single minute, sending the price of Bitcoin every minute over to my Slack channel. So let's click on active, and I'm going to click on don't show again. I'm going to click got it, and there we go. Now if we head over to Slack, we should get our price of Bitcoin sent every single minute. So I'm just going to sit here and let it run. So 1 minute from now, and I'm going to see if we get another message here. So let's just give it a second. All right, there we go. So it's still going, still posting our most recent Bitcoin price. Eventually I should come across an error saying that I've exceeded my limit, but I just haven't seen that yet. So to recap, what we've done so far is we have built a schedule trigger to run every minute, or every 60 seconds we're running. It's not set to a time on a clock, it's just running every 60 seconds. Let's go back to Canvas, and we've also edited our HTTP request node to go over to a specific URL to grab the price of Bitcoin. No authentication needed here. Go back to Canvas, and then we formatted our data to display as a currency. And finally, we are sending that message over to Slack with the current price of Bitcoin. Now, you could do something similar in Discord, and we'll actually work with Discord in the next workflow. But to do that, you actually have to create a Discord bot, and then you can send data through the bot. So we'll do that in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one in building a simple workflow. If you have any questions about any of this, please leave a comment, in the Q&A on Udemy, or ask a question in Discord. That's even better. That's a lot faster to get a reply. Or you could also just ask ChatGPT. I'm sure it's going to give you just as good or better of an answer than I would give you. All right, I'll see you in the next video where we'll build out a Discord automation. I'll see you there.